So, what is migration? Migration is a pattern of behavior in which animals travel from one habitat to another in search of food, better condition, or reproductive needs. It differs from normal daily movement in several ways. It involves physiological change, which is fat deposition, and triggered by environmental signals, which is photoperiod. For example, the Arctic terns, the Sterna paradisea, flies from the tundra, their breeding ground, to Antarctica, around 20,000 kilometers. There are two important factors that make migration different from other types of animal movement. The first one is migration happens seasonally, and the second one is migration involves a return journey. So next I will talk about the technique for studying the migration behavior. There are 5 of it. The first one is banding, the second one is observing flocks, the third one is radar, the fourth one is radio transmitter, and the last one is biochemistry. Biochemistry is we use the fatty acid profile, DNA maker, and stable isotope. So let's move on to the next topic, which is the preparation phase. Preparation phase is characterized by 2 major features, which is the increase in fat deposition, and the second one is migratory restlessness. So right now, I will talk about the increase in fat deposition. Migratory birds have 2 metabolic cycle or year, which is the fall and spring. Their pre and post migratory weights differ around 30% to 40%. Birds that fly non-stop will store virtually all of the necessary energy for the flight before starting. So the control of metabolism is centered in the hypothalamus and pituitary, so the hormone of the glands will affect the food metabolism and fat accumulation.
Another major feature that characterizes preparation phase is migratory restlessness, or it can be called as zugunra. And migratory restlessness or zugunra cause the increase in activity level, and restlessness is exhibited from conditions that are favorable for migration. And the example for the favorable condition for migration is related to day to length, daily temperature fluctuation, and also the local geographical changes.
Orientations. Orientation refers in which the way organisms direct their course of movement, or the way an organism positions itself in response to external stimulus. In orientation, there are 2 major types of movement that we can observe, which are classified as the kinesis and the taxis. Kinesis. Kinesis is a non-directional and random movement method in response to stimulus with no orientation of body towards the stimulus, while taxis, it is the response to stimulus with directed reactions. The movement is either positive taxis or negative taxis. Movement towards the stimulus is a positive taxis, while movement away from stimulus is called as negative taxis. There are 2 main types of kinesis, in which those are orthokinesis and clinokinesis. Orthokinesis, in which the speed of movement of the individual is dependent upon the stimulus intensity. For an example, the locomotion of wood lice in relation to humidity. With increased humidity, there is increase in the percentage time that the wood lice will remain stationary. This means when the humidity is increased, the wood lice tends to not move. That is caused by the external stimulus, which is the humidity. In the other hand, clinokinesis, in which the frequency or rate of turning is proportional to the stimulus intensity. For an example, the behavior of flatworm, Dendrochilium lectum, which turn more frequently in response to increasing light, thus ensuring that it spends more time in the dark area. There are many types of taxis based on the sense organ, but one of them are clinotaxis. Clinotaxis occurs in organisms with receptor cells but no paired-receptor organs. The cells for receptions are located all over the body, particularly towards the interior sides. The organism detects the stimulus by turning their heads sideways and compares the intensity. When the intensity of stimulus is balanced equally from all sides, then the organism moves in a straight line. The movement of blowfly and butterfly larvae clearly demonstrate clinotaxis. Another example of taxis is telotaxis. Telotaxis require paired receptor. The movement occurs along the direction where the intensity of the stimulus is stronger. Telotaxis is clearly seen in the movement of bees when they leave their hive to look for food. They balance the stimulus from the sun as well as from the flowers, but land on the flowers whose stimulus is most intense for them.
Let's get into the next part of the video, which is navigation. Animal navigation is the ability of animals to navigate their ways accurately by using various cues to determine its position in reference to destination as it migrates or coming home. Different animals have different ways of navigating their journey. So, the mechanism for navigation must include either allocentric or geocentric cues. Piloting is the ability to use familiar landmarks as the reference points. Meanwhile, compass orientation is the ability to head in a particular compass direction, such as north or south, with the help of the sun, moon, or stars. Most animals use the sun as their guide. The next term is olfactory cues, which are chemical signals such as smell that is received by the olfactory system, which can be found in animals and human. In this case, it lets the animal know where the food is due to the smell. Some animals such as sea turtles are expert navigators. This is because they use geomagnetic cues as a guide to migrate across the ocean to lay eggs at the same location where they were hatchlings. Now, the term true navigation is the ability to move towards a destination without using any guides or landmarks. It requires both sense of direction and a sense of geographic positions. Most birds, such as seagulls, pigeons, are capable of true navigation by extrapolating their position from geomagnetic cues.
Many animals use more than one method to navigate, and many mechanisms for homing and migration are not yet understood. Most species migrate during specific seasons in search of food or water, or for mating reasons. Different species obey different internal and external signals that cue their migration. Animals find their way by using an internal compass and mental maps, as well as other cues to help them navigate.